Miami can't win. Mark Rogers TV, the voice of college football, breaking down just about every bowl game we can possibly get to. Next up on the schedule is the Walk-Ons Independence Bowl in Shreveport, Louisiana, the day after Christmas, with Miami 6-6 out of the ACC taking on Conference USA's Louisiana Tech 9-3. These teams have met 4 times in their history. Hurricanes 4, Bulldogs nothing. Latest matchup back in 2004 with Miami winning 48-0. This Miami team, nothing close to that 2004 edition. Miami's lost 8 of 9 bowl games. 8 of its last 9 bowl games going back to the 2007 bowl game matchup against Nevada, in which they eked out a 21-20 win. Of course, Mark Richt notched the only bowl win since 2007 over West Virginia a couple of years back in 2016, actually. All right. Miami can't win basically because they're a Power 5 team with a big tradition and a big brand name, even though that's faltering and has been largely irrelevant on the field since about that 2004-2005 range. But they're still Miami, and they're playing a group of 5. So if Miami wins the game, regardless of the score, they were supposed to win the game. They're only a 6-point favorite. So that's not substantial. So Vegas knows that this should be a pretty close game because of Miami's inconsistency and because of Louisiana Tech's competency and because Miami's missing a number of key players in this game. Miami must win the game. And when they win the game, if they win the game, they won't be given a whole lot of credit for it because, again, they're playing Louisiana Tech. Not a top group of 5 team, but a second or third tier group of 5 team that went 9-3, 6-2 in Conference USA. A bunch of no-goes for the Hurricanes. Jeff Thomas, 31 catches, 3 touchdowns, the number 1 receiving threat on the field for Miami. Not statistically, but in regards to game changer, down the field, burn the defense, burn the secondary, go over the top. Jeff Thomas will not play. Also, Navon Donaldson, largely regarded as Miami's best offensive lineman, not playing in this game. DJ Dallas, the team's best running back, most productive running back, 700 yards rushing, 8 touchdowns, has decided not to play, and he's been banged up as well. Defensively, a number of missing guys. Jonathan Garvin, 9 tackles for loss and 5 sacks along the defensive front. Trayvon Hill, who, of course, was the Virginia Tech transfer, with 9.5 tackles for loss and 4.5 sacks in this game. Michael Pinkney possibly had the best of the linebacker seasons. Shaq Quarterman's the most well-known, but Michael Pinkney probably had the best season, 64 total tackles, 12.5 tackles for loss, and 5 sacks. He has decided not to play. He tweeted out a few days ago that he has played his last game for the Canes. So, replacements for Jeff Thomas. Again, he only caught 31 passes this year. But KJ Osborne has been right there at 45 catches, 5 touchdowns. He's not as explosive. Mike Harley can be, 38 catches. D. Wiggins with 19. Again, the offensive line rotation has taken another hit. This is the weakest unit on the field and has been for a number of years for the Canes. We've talked about it many times. At quarterback, who will Manny Diaz name as the starting quarterback? Does he know at this point? Is he just keeping it a secret to keep Louisiana Tech off balance, or does he truly not know? He has opened up the competition in bowl practice, some even saying that Tate Martell had a shot to start. I can't imagine that. Manny Diaz does not want to lose this game. He will not start Tate Martell. He knows that he needs to win this game. 7-6 looks a whole lot better than 6-7, especially when you've already lost to the likes of FIU and Georgia Tech. FIU, I repeat, FIU. Miami lost to FIU this year, a team that barely made a bowl game from the group of 5, and lost to the worst team in the ACC, 3-9 Georgia Tech. Keep in mind that we've got one common opponent here. That would be FIU, and the Bulldogs beat them 43-31 about a month ago. Yes, the Miami offensive line gave up 47 sacks this season. That's one of the worst marks in college football. Fortunately for the Canes, Louisiana Tech only sacked the quarterback 20 times, one of the worst marks in the nation, in the bottom 20. Milton Williams leads the team in sacks with 4, but the best player on the Louisiana Tech defense, probably all told, both in coverage and supporting the run would be L'Jarius Sneed, had 72 tackles to lead the team in 3 interceptions out of his safety position. Louisiana Tech as well is not a good matchup in regards to statistically stopping teams inside the red zone, so they're tough on defense in matchup situations in the red zone. 3rd in the nation to Ohio State and Florida. I was surprised to see this. Ohio State and Florida are the only teams in the nation with better red zone defense. And, of course, Miami's been atrocious in the red zone and on 3rd down this season, just like they were last year, despite switching out the head coach and the offensive coordinator. All right, on the Louisiana Tech side, Miami has, many people would say, certainly many of you Miami fans, an elite defense. It's not an elite defense, and now it's minus Trayvon Hill, Jonathan Garvin, and Michael Pinkney, your best linebacker. So I don't know how good the Canes defense is going to be against this Louisiana Tech team with a quarterback that doesn't make many mistakes in Jamar Smith. Jamar Smith finished 20th in the nation in completion percentage at 65.8. 17 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. He takes care of the football. Running back Justin Henderson averages almost 6 yards per carry, 5.8, 15 touchdowns. He finds the end zone almost 1,000 yards. He needs 33 to get to 1,000 yards, as Louisiana Tech is one of the top 5 rushing teams in the nation at 277 rushing yards per game. Miami is a top rushing team as well. Greg Rousseau, I want to see this kid play one more time in 2019. He will be all over preseason All-America lists and should be. He's earned every bit of pub that he has received and more. 18 tackles for loss and 14 sacks, second to Chase Young in the nation. He's been devastating and didn't even start the first 3 or 4 games of the season. So he's going to be the guy coming after Jamar Smith. Now, Louisiana Tech spreads it out, so Miami cannot focus on 1 or 2 guys. They've got 3 receivers with 40-plus catches. They've got 3 receivers, not the same 3 receivers, with 500-plus yards. Smoke Harris, C.J. Powell, and Adrian Hardy are the names to remember, Miami fans, in looking at Louisiana Tech. And if we've got Bulldog fans out there as well, we are not ignoring you. Of course, we're going through the Louisiana Tech rundown as well. And certainly subscribe to Mark Rogers TV, the voice of college football. Got to do that. Trajan Bandy, there have been rumors that he will decide not to play. That's not been announced. It probably should have been by now. But Trajan Bandy is a possibility. We've seen that in the past where a player has decided, or at least let his head coach and the media know, therefore, on game day, that they will not play. So Trajan Bandy would be a huge loss to add to Thomas and Dallas and Donaldson and Garvin and Pinkney. So who's going to carry the ball with DJ Dallas out? Obviously, he's been injured. So Cam Harris has been the number 1 guy to fill in and has had a nice season at 5.3 yards per carry. We've seen Robert Burns come out of his witness protection status to gain 115 yards. And, of course, Lorenzo Lingard, Miami fans, you would love to see Lorenzo Lingard with a football in his hands in this bowl game because he's able to keep the red shirt, but you can still see him run wild, possibly. So Thomas and Dallas, the biggest names missing from this lineup, but capable backups. Nearly as good. Louisiana Tech hits its field goals. Miami does not. That's been an issue, obviously, but they've hit them more recently. And again, they've got the one common opponent. I don't know that we can glean a whole lot from this, except that Louisiana Tech's not a bad football team. They're 9-3. They're probably one of the 70 best teams in the country. Miami at 6-6 in the ACC. They're more like one of the top 50 teams in the country. This is not a slam dunk Miami win, but they should win. My prediction you can find at the Voice of College Football Community on Patreon. Check out the link. It's right below. The predictions are a bonus. The predictions in the playoffs and the rest of the bowl games, that's a bonus at 58% against the spread and 79% straight up this regular season. But more than that, we deliver, per request, an exclusive live stream with you. We bring you on to do an exclusive live stream with us. That's the deal on Patreon and whatever recommendations and suggestions and requests that you have beyond that. So join our Voice of College Football community. Of course, we'll do analysis of the Miami game and Louisiana Tech on Thursday night, so stay tuned for that. We will also have we will have coverage of all the bowl games, and of course only 2 tomorrow, but we will cover those in depth right here at Mark Rogers TV, the Voice of College Football. Anything else you've got, let me know. Who you want to see start at quarterback for Miami? Jaron Williams, 19 TDs, 6 picks. N'Kosi Perry, 8-2. Tate Martell, who did not see the field as a quarterback. Also, let me know what the score is going to be. And, of course, you can get my score again at the Voice of College Football community. The link is right below. We will see you very soon.